Sit, stand, be. Notice the things around you drawn from nature. How is your presence a seat of time, or body a dance of presence? In this opportunity, a choreography of change. Of course, it'll be a choreography. My practice as the co-director is that of a dancer. I'd like to acknowledge the sacred land where I work, create, and we in expression work, created by breath. This land has been the site of human activity since time immemorial, and is the land on which I've danced, administer, and support the arts. And that for me is a privilege. This land, 2013, is the traditional territory Takaranda, where the trees meet the water, the gathering place of many nations. The Mississaugas of the Crates, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. Indigenous bodies, those documented and undocumented. And I'm grateful and thankful to have the opportunity to live, work, and play on this land. In extension, I call into focus and honor the indigenous lands of the Americas and the Caribbean, in particular the land of the Taínos that nurtured my being, on which I arrived at birth, Siamaka, known to you as Jamaica. Siamaka means the land of willing water. I want to bring into the conversation that this land, Kanata, including Turtle Island, and the Western Hemisphere was taken by violence, and that this violence and oppression is still with us today. It's in our systems, our organizations, and the sector. And I'm drawing many analogies over the course of this week, where we started on Wednesday, and Andrew Walker, who does advocacy with me to the Canadian Arts Coalition, spoke about not talking about the arts as a sector, but as an industry. What does it mean to rethink about the arts sector as an industry in a time on this land? I'm mindful that this land and this digital transference things also impacts the land. So energy, electricity impacts the land because it actually is taken from the land. And I think I arrive in this moment as co-director of CPAMO with a privilege and a responsibility that I hope to achieve with accountability of the work required through these systems of oppression to change, to evolve, to be more inclusive, to be more considerate, to really begin to think about the many ways in which we, in this now as a potential, can influence the future, but not forget the past, cannot forget the land we're on, the impact of this and our bodies, immigrant bodies, those who have arrived willingly, and in this case, as a Black person, unwillingly to the West. And I actually centered my acknowledgement around where exactly is the center resources that we still take from it. I would argue that's not Europe. I would argue that's Africa. And if you want to do the geographic thing, go right ahead. Look at Gondwana and the breaking away of what we call plates that we call now the world. And I want to also acknowledge that APOC peoples make up more of this world. And so it's with this honor and respect and accountability that I invite you into this day. Today, for the most part, will be around organizations and artists and sectoral change. And if I think about the first day online on Wednesday in a recap, some things, as I mentioned, Andrew Walker talking about the arts industry. Some things that have also arrived is Carol Loft giving her Indigenous acknowledgement and talking about that we're working in this particular system and structure. Counterpoint. Spring, yes, is for the activities of things. Winter is for the transition and rest period. If you think about how we work in the arts industry, we actually are working a lot in winter. So there's also stuff we spoke about on yesterday, Thursday, around wellness and care in the arts. And what does it mean to be artists, arts administrators, And when do we center our being and our wellness before our organizations, before our titles, in the work that we do? I want to bring in other great persons in the city who have influenced so many organizations like Jean Stoll, who, when she ran Creative Trust, one of the beautiful processes we went through was this idea of the arts industry and the sectors of biodiversity. So it's feeding each other. Are we feeding each other in Toronto in our creative practices? Are we working with the lassos and the large organizations and the small, mid-sized ones? And what ways are we working? Because I don't think we're working effectively and collectively enough for the betterment of the biodiversity of the arts. And then today, I'll be leading most of the day today, and we will talk about that after. But it's with privilege and honor that I invite the keynote for the day, that I invite Wendy Kashama, who have been part of the CPAMO POC, which is CPAMO, Person for Organizational Change process, to offer a keynote. And I was really particular. And we, I should say, my other co-director, Barrett, is over there, around selecting a local arts service organization to offer this particular keynote. It could have been a larger organization. But what I've been thinking about and also noticing in the sector is that we're always favoring large organizations, and they're also most distant from the real work that's happening in communities. And the communities gives you the funding. The communities gives you the things that we know people want.